Well, it was kind of inevitable that I would make a video about this. Never has a piece of media, be it a film, a TV show, a piece of music, ever made me feel so emotional and also changed me as a person. Like, not even like Star Wars or Lord of the Rings or anything like that has impacted my life like this. Heartstopper has changed my life. It is excellent and you should watch it. But let me tell you why. So, what the hell is Heartstopper? It started life as a beautiful hand-drawn webcomic slash graphic novel written by the wonderful Alice Oseman, I want to say that's how you say their name. And it's just been turned into and produced into a Netflix TV show, and it is absolutely wonderful. It's written by the original writer who wrote the graphic novels, which is hardly ever seen when it comes to adaptations, and it stars a cast of absolutely brilliant young actors who have a very big future ahead of them. So, what's the overall plot of Heartstopper? So the show follows Charlie, who is an out guy already, and Nick, who is at first seems to be this fully heterosexual rugby lad, who over the course of the show realizes some stuff about himself and realizes that that's not who he is, thanks to meeting Charlie, of course. It takes place during a term at secondary school in the UK, and we see the ups and downs of realizing who you are. We explore relationships and friendships and hiding who you are, really. So, what did I love about Heartstopper that isn't just answering with everything? Well, allow me to start with being a little bit personal, which I don't normally do too much. I normally just focus on like the writing and the filmmaking. However, I did want to just say that the idea that someone at Netflix saw Heartstopper and was like, we need to make this into a show. I love that fact because the story and this representation is so important. And I don't think we've seen anything, at least I've not seen anything like this. As someone who's only recently come out as bisexual, having a show that is so centered in the idea that being queer, being bi specifically, isn't a bad thing. It makes me feel safe. The show is like a safety blanket for me. And I love the idea that this show has made the world somewhat safer in that aspect. I feel like I can be more of myself because people have watched this show and they've been so well receiving of this show. And I'm so happy that this show is going to be such a huge thing and going to inspire and help so many more younger people. Because I wish I had something like this when I was younger, because it would have given me the confidence to come out as a bisexual. Heartstopper has an interesting and amazing focus when it comes to the writing and the direction. This is a teen drama, and it does follow some of the main conventions that you would for that genre, because that's how writing works. However, they go against some of them, and I absolutely love it. In this show and the books, there's a severe lack of sexual attraction and physical attraction. They sort of scrap the idea of being attracted to somebody based on their looks, which for this genre is a very good move in my opinion. I really dislike it when rom-coms and teen dramas, they all revolve around the idea that the captain of the sports team, the guy with the big muscles and who is attractive, it focuses on them and they're going to get the love of their life because they're attractive, and everyone else in the film or the show, you know, like the nerdy people or just everyone else can just go and be sad in the corner because who cares about them? However, Heartstopper is completely the opposite. We lean heavily into personality and actions and being attracted to somebody based on what they do, what they like, and who they are, instead of like how many abs they have. I'm just a huge fan of that. In this, we see the importance of relationships and just being with somebody and just caring for them. Like, that's huge, and I really hope they continue to do this in future shows if Netflix are going to produce anything similar to this, including season 2. I really love a season 2 of this. Okay, I'm going to try and drive us back onto the filmmaking side of this review. Heartstopper does a very interesting and inspirational film when it comes to its production side of it and its writing. Heartstopper embraces its awkward side. Yes, this is about sort of 15-year-olds coming to terms with everything and also trying to sort of start dating and start getting out there. And they embrace the idea of how awkward that is, because in reality, those things are super anxiety driven. They're super awkward because you don't really know how to talk to each other, what you should do in certain situations. A lot of products in this sort of genre shy away from that side of it because they're afraid that people are going to dislike it for being awkward. Like, oh, why is this dialogue cringy? Or why did they do this? Something like... a good example would be everyone hating Anakin Skywalker in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. Like, Hayden Christensen portrayed such a good, awkward teenager in those films. And everyone hated on it because the dialogue was bad. But, like, that's how people sounded, and that's what they do in Heartstopper, just, like, slightly better than the writing in Star Wars. And I love it. I love that they don't shy away from this idea. It makes the product feel that extra little bit real, and it, like, the show is already super relatable, but it just, like, drags that even further. You're like, yes, no, I am 100% on board with this character because they've rewritten their text message 3 times. Like, they don't portray everyone as this super slick, hey, yeah, I'm gonna text you this because that's what I would say in that situation, and I'm good at relationships. Like, no, everyone rewrites their texts a few times. Well, at least I do. I think the moral of that story is that every writer, every director should start looking at making their characters more messy, more awkward, and not shying away from that. Similar to Worst Person in the World. I touched on that a couple of weeks back in my review, that like the characters in that are so messy and so real, and we feel connected to them, and in result we like the product more. Like, yeah, just write more messy characters. I think that's what we should do from now on. Okay, we're already past 10 minutes, so I'm not gonna go in depth on a lot more about this show. However, like, the acting in the show is amazing, and again reinforces the idea of being natural and embracing that awkwardness. I think everyone in this cast was excellent. The editing is awesome. Like, all of the graphics that they do and the pacing is basically perfect. And they end each episode on such a good note. They know exactly when to finish an episode to make you want more. And speaking of endings, the ending of Heartstopper made me cry for about an hour. That's how good it was. It was so powerful, the ending. So you really need to go see it. Oh, and I can't believe I left this to the end, but the soundtrack is so good for Heartstopper. Like, you need to watch it. Like, I've just been listening to the soundtrack basically non-stop for like the last week and a bit. It's so good. Like, it will introduce you to so many new artists that are just so good. So, with all that being said, that was Heartstopper. A show that made me feel more alive, it made me feel more seen, and helped me figure out a few more stuff for myself and who I want to be. Even if you're not part of the LGBTQ plus community, I 100% sort of encourage you to watch this, because you're going to come out with 2 outcomes either way. You're either going to have an amazing, lovely, wholesome time, or you're just going to learn how to be a better human being and how to communicate your feelings that much more. So, yeah, just go watch it. Do me a favor and get those viewerships high, so we can get a season 2. That's all I ask of you. Actually, that's not everything I wanted to ask you. I did also want to ask you to both like, subscribe, comment, do whatever the hell you want to do, but also just have a lovely day. Thank you.